Bourbon, Broncos, and No B.S. Fans, brews, and Broncos news. What's up, Broncos country? How y'all doing? This is another episode of Bourbon, Broncos, No B.S. My name is 𝐃𝐞𝐬𝐧𝐯. I am glad to be with you here tonight. Burnt lip and everything. So, no, it's not half lipstick. But we're just going to power through it and pretend nothing's wrong. I do have Adam here with me tonight, and Adam's going to help distract from any awkwardness on my side of the screen. Adam, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm good. Pay no attention to what's going on this. Pay attention to his words, but not so much. Okay.
Just talk like this whole show.
There you go. Like Home Improvement, like Wilson, who just talked like he stood like behind Wilson. The fence. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wilson's one of those great characters that we're not here to speak about tonight, but I know I always liked him very much. So anyway, we are here to talk about the Broncos, guys. Believe it or not. We are 75 days away from the start of the NFL season. Training camp is about a month away, guys, and this next month is going to feel like it's taking forever, but before you know it, it's going to be training camp time. And, man, Adam, here's the kind of where I want to open it while we wait for questions and everything to come in. Man, the Broncos spent this whole offseason grabbing some pieces, doing some contract stuff, right? And you can really start to see the recipe coming together, right? We got to wait for the 53-man roster, but the ingredients are there. And one of the things that we just kind of really struggled with, well, there's a lot that we've struggled with over the last 9 years. One of them is the identity on offense. So I want to start by asking you, like, based off the pieces you see that the Broncos now have, what do you expect the Broncos' identity on offense to be going in this next season?
Kind of seems like offensively anyway, that they're building a very physical, rushing attack, at least. You have J.K. Dobbins, newly signed, tough physical first, second down runner, underrated pass catcher too. If you're really, from anybody who's ever seen him, then you have obviously R.J. Harvey, who is, known for, being a physical downhill runner. So I think offensively, they're thinking about being, making things easier for Bo Nix. Not that it was really difficult for him last season or, that he was under fire a whole lot, but it is looking like they want to build a very balanced offense. So they don't want to make it too Bo heavy centric, but they don't want to make it but they do want to make that ground game more consistent than we had last season. So I'm thinking that it's going to be a very, very balanced attack, a very deep attack. You look at on the outside, Courtland Sutton, Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin. Now you got Devon Bailey. Now you got Pat. It's a myriad of weapons back there. So. Kind of taking it from just 2 seasons ago with Russell Wilson under control to now seems like it is crazy how much. And obviously you got a trigger man now, which obviously helps. So, we're trying to do all of this with the Brett Rippins and Jeff Driscoll's and no disrespect to those guys, but it is a little bit different. So to kind of put it all in summation, I would probably say they're looking to kind of have a little bit of everything. There's a lot of ball control traits in there, but there's also a lot of dynamic playmakers on the outside too. So
yeah,
I think this is almost like a very kind of Swiss Army knife a little bit. Very versatile offense.
Yeah, versatility is going to be key. We can't rely on just Bo's arm. It's not putting way too much pressure on him. He's already going to have a target on his back going into this next year. Teams are going to be trying everything they can to get to Bo Nix. And so the offensive line has got to hold up. They're up for the challenge. I do believe it, but it all starts and begins there, right? The next name, dude, if this guy hits this year, this offense, I think, is going to be deadly. Evan Ingram. We need a tight end so badly, and a versatile one, right? And this guy can run the slot. He can run on the outside. He can line up as a wide receiver, do go routes. His route running is really good. The way he catches the ball, make sure he catches the ball and then starts running, right? And I mean, was it Bo Nix was third in the league last year for most dropped passes, with 25 dropped passes. Obviously, it's not his fault that the wide receivers dropped the passes, but that's a lot. So you got to clean that up. And I think, if you add Evan Ingram, especially in this mix with Courtland Sutton, you find ways to get Devon Bailey more involved. Man, hit on not Mims, but who's the other guy Bo Nix kept trying to connect with?
Troy Franklin?
Hamilton.
Or Troy Franklin?
Franklin, thank you, Franklin. Yeah. If Franklin can hit, right, like, the pieces are there. They just need to gel. And I think this whole offseason has been a big part of it. But if you can get these guys to really just click together, get on the same page, and move forward under Bo Nix's leadership, this is an offense can get clicking really quickly. I'm not saying in game 1 they're going to look fantastic, but by game 4, this offense by that point should be clicking.
I think another really underrated fact that nobody's really talking about is that this is the second year of the Bo Nix in the Sean Payton system. This is year 3 of the Sean Payton system. Yep. So having that continuity is something that we have not had in Broncos country for quite some time. I mean, going back to what Kubiak maybe when Kubes was I think that's probably the last time we had a coordinator serve for more than two seasons, maybe.
Yeah, when you add ownership in and GM to that picture as well, the last time we had concurrent ownership, GM, head coach, quarterback was back with Peyton Manning.
Yeesh.
Okay, so you're right. We're finally seeing some continuity here. And last year was just a taste. Last year was just the tip of the iceberg of what this team can do and what they can achieve, right, if they keep moving forward in the right direction. And with what Sean Payton is bringing into the building there, just in terms of his personality, what he expects from the players, obviously he gets a lot of respect from the players, right? But that doesn't mean that he's a player's coach. Nobody has ever said Sean Payton is a player's coach, right? No one has ever said, who Sean Payton reminds me of? John Fox. John Fox is the guy that, Ryan's no. Okay. Or Nathaniel Hackett. No. Okay. But Sean does know. Oh, I said the name. But, he still finds a way to command respect from his players. And they want to go play harder for him. They want to do more work and they want to achieve more because they have such a strong leader. And when you have a new head coach every 2 years, you can never get in that rhythm, man. You can never get in that rhythm.
Exactly. It's kind of funny that you touch on that. Were you able to see what Evan Ingram had a very interesting quote this week about Sean Payton and the kind of the change in culture that is very apparent from what he didn't have in Jacksonville. And he's basically saying that that there's an accountability in the room. Everybody talks to each other. If they struggle, it's a very open environment where people are talking about, how do I get better? What do we need to do to get better? Again, in an environment where Sean Payton, while a good coach, to your point, is not Mr. Nice Guy. And I think that's what was kind of, I mean, it's great when you're everybody's friend and you're nice, and unfortunately sometimes different players work under different things, whatever. God bless Nathaniel Hackett, whatever he's doing. For our purposes here in Denver, this is what I think needed to happen. And obviously you're seeing the fruits of that now, where even a new guy like Evan Ingram is already embracing the change in the culture and the change of the mindset. I'll have to see if I can pull that up somewhere because it was a very, very telling quote. And if I'm in Kansas City or if I'm in Vegas or if I'm in LA reading that, I'm maybe a little worried. Maybe I'm a little concerned. Maybe there's something brewing over here that I don't know that everybody. I think people kind of think that something might happen, but I think there's a better than good chance of maybe sneaking up on people.
Right.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe. Hey, sleep on the Broncos, guys. For all the other 31 teams out there, sleep on the Broncos. Sleep on the Broncos. Sean, I don't know. Hey, Adam, is there something on my lip that
I didn't notice anything.
I don't see anything.
I don't see.
No.
I don't. No.
Let's see, because we got the questions here. No, it was not a haymaker from my wife. There is no domestic violence situations going on. Please do not call the cops. Everything is fine. No. What I learned today, everybody, so we can get past this. What I learned is that when food is hot, it burns. I don't know how else to say it. And when you think it's not hot and you bite into it, that doesn't make it not hot if it still is, right? It has to actually not be hot anymore. So this is a result of pizza sauce. And now I look terrible, and that's okay. But the show is not terrible, and that's what's important.
But Kevin is a trooper, and he was like,
I'm still here.
Do I have half of my mouth missing? Maybe.
Right.
Am I going to be on?
Do I look like Two-Face?
Maybe. But guess who's going to be on at 7? What guy has 2 thumbs is going to be on at 7? This guy.
This guy. Oh yeah, 2 thumbs. Oh yeah,
2 thumbs.
2 thumbs. Yeah. No, Sean, that's a burn. I'm gonna have my lip's gonna hurt for the next couple days. That is for sure, guys. But the thinking about the Broncos just takes all the pain away. And I can't remember, we were talking about this last week, guys. I don't know if you heard this. I heard some Tennessee Titans fans talking about the week 1 game against Denver. And they straight up said on their podcast, they would rather face, guys, I'm not even kidding. These guys are just like me. They're doing a podcast about their favorite team. They sat there with all seriousness and said they would rather face the Chiefs in week 1 than the Broncos. I mean, what backwards world are we living? I mean, obviously this is a great thing to hear, but just after everything we've been into the last 9 years, God, like that is the phrase that I never even imagined hearing anytime soon. But here we are. The league is recognizing the Broncos.
I mean, can you blame them? You have a defense that was a top 5 defense last year. And then what do? They go out and they get probably the best physical enforcer in the back end in Hufanga. They shore up our biggest weakness since the Super Bowl teams at linebacker with Dre Greenlaw. So if those guys are even 80% of where they were back in San Francisco, now you put those on a top 5 defense, it kind of feels like you're cheating at that point a little bit.
Well, that's what the salary cap is for.
I mean, this defense has so many, and again, I don't want to set the bar too high, but man, this defense has so many similarities to that Super Bowl team.
Yeah,
they got guys who can rush the passer and also are stout against the run on the defensive line. You got 2 linebackers who can cover in the linebacking core, and then you have basically your top 3 corners can match up with just about any 3 wide receivers in the league right now. So, and then you got, I mean, I've been hearing things about Q Robinson at OTAs, who like you get any kind of production from a 5th round pick, and now you can just throw pass rushers after waves of pass rushers, much like that defense did with Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, Shane Ray, Shaq Barrett. It's things are percolating, things are shaping, and yeah, I think anybody who really does like kind of really starts taking a look, yeah, I would be a little worried too about facing Denver at home for the home opener.
Yep.
I mean, we've talked about it. It kind of feels like this is our tune-up game a little bit. So
sorry, I was reading
no, that's fine. But I mean, you have to think that even if other teams are starting to know, I mean, this is Tennessee. It's not like this is a division rival that's
No.
noticing. This is a team that we see, once every few years. And if they're already saying like,
Yeah, there's
the
something there.
the Super Bowl runner up from the year before, I would rather have them than the 10-7 Broncos. I think really says something.
Yeah, exactly. And you're right, Sean. I don't know how we're mentioning players of such as Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton and Hufanga and Greenlaw, and talking about how this team is being built with such just ferocity, right? Without mentioning the one and only Mitch Frabroni. I mean, seriously, tip of the hat to this guy. And I'm not really making fun. I'm not like, he's a Bronco man. He's always been great stuff for us since he joined. I love the energy, and I hope that we can get Mitch on a show one day and interview him or something like that. But it's hey, if your long snapper screws up, you're going to know. You're going to know real quick if your long snapper screws something up.
Now, Kevin, I got a question. Now, we all think that this team is pretty close to compete, to being in that top echelon of teams. Do you think, as constructed right now, that there's a piece that we're missing?
It's kind of tough to say because we have all these shiny new toys. And you can't really, when you have so many new pieces, and it's not like we have 20, right? We have, you would call it a handful on offense, handful on defense. You got to see how they mesh. You got to see if any of them hit, right? And that could really impact, like, let's say Evan Ingram just is a complete mess. Knock on wood, this doesn't happen. But let's say we go out there and Evan Ingram is just all year long, just crap, right? Hey, I'm going to say that kind of a priority is the tight end, because who do we have other than Evan Ingram, right? If he doesn't hit, we're kind of screwed. Like, the other guys showed a little bit here or there, but there wasn't anything substantial or consistent with the other tight ends. Now, if Evan Ingram goes out there and does amazing, then we don't really have too much of a concern there. I think one thing that the Broncos continually struggle in is that linebacker core. And now, while we did try to strengthen it with Greenlaw, okay, that's great. Is that going to fix it for a couple years? 2, 3, right? How many years is that going to do it for us? So that's an area where I'm looking like, okay, we're okay right now with the veteran side of things, but we need to be getting some more of this younger talent in here. We need to be drafting these guys and homegrowing them. So a lot of it really depends on, like, we could sit here right now and pick it apart, but man, halfway through the season, it could be one complete 180. Things that you thought were our priority, you're now saying, hey, look, there's this guy that was an undrafted rookie. We signed him, and now look at what he's doing. Like, this isn't a problem anymore. If this guy keeps doing it, this is amazing. Other areas, you could be sitting here going, this area is phenomenal. We have so much depth here. That's great. And then something happens, and you're sitting there going, holy crap, we have a problem. So you just never know.
Very true.
It's a tough question. It's a good question. It's just a tough question.
I mean, I just kind of think right now I'm kind of in the same vein as you, Dan. It's hard to say if we have a piece missing because we just haven't gotten out there yet. But I think anything right now is kind of just a nitpick. Like, we don't really know what our depth is on the offensive line yet. Do we have a third linebacker at this point between, what's his face? Drew Sanders and
what's his name? What's his bucket?
Yeah, I can't think of it. I've drawn a total blank right
now.
No,
not Locke.
PJ Locke is safety.
No,
but
he stepped in for Alexander or Singleton last year.
Sternad.
Thank you.
Of course, Sternad. The guy that got trucked by 𝐃𝐥𝐞𝐞𝐬. Sorry, that guy. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Justin.
Yeah, but he kind of deserved it. If you get trucked by
𝐃𝐥𝐞𝐞𝐬, you
deserve it.
It's burned into my memory banks. I can never unsee it. I see Sternod on the back of the jersey. I'm like, oh, that guy.
Yep, that guy. Yep.
So anyway, thank you, Sean Sternod. And I just want to point out, I am kind of a baseball orphan. That is my wife's team. My wife is the Cubs fan. She loves the Cubbies, all the Chicago teams, and yeah, that is hers. So I
don't claim this side.
I don't claim that.
I claim this side with the Broncos.
I am a supportive husband who always wishes the Cubs do well. I am not a Cubs fan. I'm a Cubs well wisher. Cubs well wisher. There you go.
There you go. Sean says Sternod deserves his bad last name. That's too funny. Nailed it. I love it, guys. That's awesome. Let's see. Well, I want to hear from you guys in the comments. What areas are you concerned about? Is there anything on the team that area on the team that you're like, this is going to be a problem for us this year? I mean, honestly, I'm looking at this is a pretty well-rounded roster, and I'm not looking at it with my blue and orange goggles on. I'm just saying, like, look, if you're looking, there's no one necessarily on this team that is like, okay, this is definitely a Hall of Fame player right here, right?
Right.
Now you have some maybe guys in the making, right? But the talent that's there, and if you can bring that talent together, man, the sum can be, the sum of the whole can be greater than the parts, than the sum of the parts, right? Whatever that phrase is. But that's exactly what's going on here. You don't have to have top-notch superstars all across the field. If you just have a talented team that comes together and plays on the same page, those guys can be dangerous.
Good. Yeah, I mean, but can you really say that maybe that first season, or the first and only season with Hackett, maybe that first season with Peyton, that there was a lot of competition going on in training camp, and a lot of competition going on during, at the start of the season and in the season, because there wasn't as much depth. And like to your point, Kev, I'm sure that you've looked at the roster almost kind of trying to find like a little like,
it's like, where can I pick something apart? Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, could we have maybe a more established change of pace back? Maybe but that's only because Jaleel McLaughlin really hasn't shown that yet. Could we maybe use a swing tackle? Sure. But that also means that we're kind of hoping McGlinchey or Bowles goes down, and
you don't want to deal with that.
And you don't want to talk about that. So again, it's very, I feel like we're in that kind of same boat of like, we are splitting hairs over things.
Here you go. Here's one. Kind of along the same lines of what I was saying with Greenlaw. I don't know if you saw it, but Garrett Bowles came out and said he wants to play 2 or 3 years left here in Denver. And kind of talking about after 2 or 3 years, he's done. He wants to be a Bronco forever. So he's no talk of him leaving or anything. He's just saying, like, I have a couple years left in me. And that's the reality of the situation. So, hey, did the Broncos seem to have a long-term problem with finding a consistent left tackle?
Oh my!
Is that something that maybe we want to like prioritize starting now? Yeah, yeah, that's an area. If we know Garrett Bowles is out the door in the next couple of years, you cannot be putting Bo Nix out there with a weak left side. You just can't.
Yeah.
Right. He's too important. He's too talented. The team is built around him. If he goes down, man, you can't just throw in a backup. You just can't. Yeah, you can still do things. I mean, look at the 2015 Broncos, right? It's not impossible, but man, your odds get so far escalated from what they currently were, right? So if there's something to start looking at, there's one right there.
And I also think that maybe that 2015 situation is more the exception, and that's not the norm.
Yeah.
I mean, when you get a guy like Peyton Manning goes down, you got to go to Brock, Ozzie, and for some of the game, one of the highlights of that season was that game versus New England in the snow, and that was a comeback. That was a comeback win.
Yeah,
and that was authored by one Brockus, the Brock Lobster, Brocktoberfest.
Brock Lobster.
Brock Lobster. I mean, and I was lucky enough to be at that game, so that was an awesome game to go to. But again, like for us to be pulling out wins with a backup quarterback with a Hall of Famer on the shelf, is that rarely happens.
No, you can't count on that. No, it's for sure. I like Keith here. In terms of our left tackle there, we do have Frank Crum.
We do have Frank Crum.
This is a fact. That is, you cannot debate that. Frank Crum is a player on the Denver Broncos that could play in Garrett Bowles' position. Is that the guy that we want to go with? No.
Hey, I'm willing to be surprised. Frank Crum looks the part. Frank Crum is very large, even by NFL standards, and undrafted rookie free agent that made the team last year. Yeah. So, who knows? Undrafted guys make the team all the time. I do think that I think it's funny that for most of Bowles' early career, he was probably the whipping boy of everybody in Broncos.
I gave him so much crap. I mean, oh God.
Who would have thunk that he would be playing his third contract with the Broncos and wanting to retire as a Bronco?
And I'd be sitting here saying, oh my God, us losing him is going to be terrible because of how great he's become.
Right.
Like, that's the crazy, but not just that he's stayed here for this long, but the fact that I'm going to miss him when he's gone. The thought of him not being here is like, that could be a real problem on the offensive line if he's not here. That is, you had told me 5-6 years ago that I'm going to be sitting here saying that about Garrett Bowles. Now I'll be like, who? Garrett Holds? Garrett Hold that whole bear hug, dude? No, screw that. Get rid of him.
Find somebody that holds you as tight as Garrett Bowles does.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. But here we are.
There we go.
Guys, we're going to do some closing thoughts here in a minute. First, really quickly, some comments here. Sean, this is almost foreign ground for this podcast. We've always known exactly what we need to improve on. And this year we have such a well-rounded team. It's very fun searching for topics. Yeah, well, part of it, Sean, is the topics on the show we're usually like the Broncos lost, and it's because we don't have a quarterback, and it's because we don't have a good head coach, and it's because we don't have owners, and it's because the defense sucks, and it's because it's the same. Like every week, it was the same reasons as to why we lost. Now we're sitting here going, oh, we can talk about good things.
Right.
I don't have to be sad. Hey guys, welcome to the show, and we're sad.
It also makes content, and I'm gonna be really honest here. Sometimes it makes content a little hard to create when things are really good. So it's like a egg and or rock and one. I don't know.
No,
some hands to it. Yeah.
I like
it. There's only so many things that, you can. It's easier to complain about things than it is to.
It is so
than to say everything's actually really good. And I think a lot of Bronco fans right now are kind of in this weird like PTSD, like leaving it a little bit. And and there's like this, okay, things are fine. Things are fine right now, but
you want to know what game last year personified that the year describing it exactly? Broncos versus Browns.
Yeah.
That game, the atmosphere in that stadium was so freaking weird because we got so amped up when one of these amazing plays, you'd pick a play, right? Something happened. The Broncos got a touchdown. Everyone was just feeling the energy and excited, like this is our team. And then as soon as Cleveland came back the other way, you could almost hear a pin drop. Everyone was like, yeah, that's my Broncos. We just got a huge play and they just screwed it up. That's the team. Yeah, screw you guys. Get rid of Sean Payton. Vance Joseph's a terrible, blah, 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 right? And then, oh, yeah, go Broncos. Ah! It was so bad. Exactly. I think people just have PTSD. They're waiting. They're like, I don't want to get excited because I know when the other shoe drops that it's going to hurt more. Right?
Yeah.
And we have to So once we see this out in the field, guys, and kind of like what Clayton is saying too, looking forward to some real domination this year. And the defense, right? So we start winning some games and winning handily. I think like you look back last year, the games we won handily. The games we lost, we barely lost within a score.
We lost.
So we keep winning these games handily. Man, fans are they're gonna be like, okay, it's time to buy into it because we just keep winning. I can't fight anymore.
Well, I guess we'll get to a closing thought. That'll be my closing thought. I'll save it for closing.
Okay. Let's do some announcements and then some closing thoughts, guys. So don't go away quite yet. Remember, first, guys, every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, we are live with another Bourbon, Broncos, and No B.S. With training camp right around the corner, things are going to start ramping up before too long. Once the preseason games get going, we'll be going into our full swing of content here at Bourbon Broncos No B.S. to include the post-game show on Monday nights, the Tuesday night show that we do every Tuesday night, the pre-game and post-game podcast, the kickoff show, the halftime show, all the video content we put out throughout the weeks of those little shorts and everything. We're going to be doing a ton of stuff, guys, and it's going to be fun because the Broncos are going to be winning. So get ready for it. Hey, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to all the different places that we're at, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. It might come in handy later this year when we're doing a prize giveaway for some of our followers, and I ask you to provide proof that you are a follower to get entered into a prize drawing. So you might as well go ahead and start following us now and get ready to send that proof in when we ask for it. But guys, this is our 10th season here. We're going to be doing a ton of stuff, a ton of giveaways throughout the entirety of the season. So get ready for it, guys, because we are here to just sit down and appreciate you guys for all the support over the last 10 years. And just basically, here's to the next 10 and see how it goes, guys. It'll be fun.
Oh, yes. There we go. I like it. I like the positivity.
I love it. Let's see. We talked about that, guys. So, yeah, before we go into closing thoughts, once again, just get ready for training camp, guys. It's going to be here before you know it. Start looking at, if you want something to do to kind of get amped into it, look at who the Broncos have that you maybe not have heard of. See who we're looking at for these undrafted free agents.
Yes.
You know, I know the Broncos were looking at bringing in to try out one of the UFL players. Remember, we signed a UFL player last year. So,
yeah, John J. Tillman was a UFL signing. And we actually did bring in I can't remember his first name. I think it's something Goodrich, and he played with the Stallions, or I think he played with the UFL. He's had a couple cups of coffee with like the Jets and the Giants, I believe.
Okay.
But can you imagine that they let a guy go who played on last year's team in order to bring in Goodrich, but then you see like everybody ahead of Goodrich, and it's like there may be some really talented guys that don't make this team.
Yeah. No, that's the thing, guys. Get ready for it. I would not be surprised for there to be one, if not two, kind of surprise, even heartbreaking cuts when it comes to the 53-man roster. And honestly, like that's kind of the price you pay for having a team that is really good. And the Broncos, I'm not going to say are really good yet, but they're getting there. And these players are going to keep making great plays. The names are become more recognizable, not just for Broncos fans, but across the league. And yeah, when these guys, you start have to make tough decisions. And sometimes it's, hey man, you've done a lot of good things for us, but this guy beat you out and we're going to have to move on. And then you have a Tim Patrick situation all over again. So who's going to be this year's Tim Patrick? I don't know. I don't want to think about it because it hurts. It hurts my heart. Oh, Timmy P, come back, buddy. Yeah, just get ready for it.
Especially when it seemed like Timmy P was going to make the roster, and then he just didn't. And that one was a little out of nowhere.
For Josh Reynolds. Hey, Josh, thanks a lot. Just kidding. No, I'm not.
Josh had a weird thing happen to him.
I don't want to know.
We don't. Hey, it kind of seems like Josh Reynolds was a victim in the whole thing. So
maybe.
As my nana would say, nothing good happens after 1 a.m. But
very much for anybody out there who does not know this, do not stay up past 1 a.m. and do not text after 1 a.m. It rarely
goes well.
Rarely.
Rarely.
Okay, that's more than I've ever had it go well for me. Anyway,
we should get back to the Bronco related stuff.
We should. Let's do some closing thoughts, man. Versus
thoughts.
me spilling my life story for the next, couple hours. Adam, buddy, Broncos, closing thoughts. What you got?
Closing thoughts. I to kind of circle back to what we were talking about as far as training camp. You're gonna maybe see. 21 out of the last 22 years, the Broncos have had at least one guy make the team from the undrafted rookie free agent list. So it kind of makes you think, like, every year it's kind of like, well, who's going to be the guy this year that makes the team? If I had a guess, I think there is a guard from Georgia. I believe his name escapes me right now. Was a very highly touted, was thought to be maybe like a mid-round pick, and it didn't end up getting drafted. So always be on the lookout for guys that are, and NFL teams are always looking for linemen, whether you play offense or defensive lineman. It's just one of those things. If you can play lineman in this league, you will have a job at some point. So, but again, I don't want to be the fan that is always looking for the other shoe to drop. I want to go into the season just like
amped.
I am so excited. I think that I'm having a hard time keeping my own expectations. Just,
you're not alone.
Just like let's be calm and cool and collected until we start playing some football, and then we can start getting fired up.
No, I'm gonna let Bo be calm, cool, and collected. I'm gonna freak them out. Okay?
There we go. There we go.
But I don't think it's out of the realm of reason when you have a 10-win team that gets into the playoffs on a rebuilding year. The natural expectation is they're going to be better.
Yeah.
They're going to be better than they were the before. And so, we could be sitting here. I'm not saying they're going to be a 15-win team, but 11, 12, definitely 13 within the range of reason for sure. Whoever out there, I saw somebody was making a season prediction saying the Raiders were going to go 13-4 and win the AFC, not the AFC West. They're going to win the AFC period. And I'm like,
can't.
Okay.
What did he? Is his supplier Aaron Rodgers? Are they doing ayahuasca? Are they doing ayahuasca? I love the enthusiasm. Dreams are funny that way, I guess. I crush it on GM mode when I'm playing Madden.
Right, that's all it is.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys being here.
Good night,
Sean,
everybody.
I appreciate
Good
you guys.
night.
That's how we're gonna end the show. My face is burnt off. For anybody listening on one of the podcast platforms, and you have no idea what we're talking about, you can come back and watch us online on YouTube or Facebook, or catch the live shows on those platforms later. But hopefully I will be healed by then. I'm going to go see a doctor, and I'm not really, but maybe put a Band-Aid on it. Like Gary, we'll put a Band-Aid on my lip there and see how that looks. Let's see. Jose says Broncos will win 15 or 14 games. We'll see. I think that's a bit much, but you never know, man. You never know. So, hey, guys.
Next Tuesday, Phantom of the Opera mask.
I'll do it. If this is still messed up, I'll do it. Okay. Well, hey, Adam, thank you very much, man, for the insight as always, dude. This season is going to be here before you know it. It's almost July, and when it's July, you can say football's back. It's as simple as that. Football's back in July, so get ready for it, guys. Hey, that's all I'm going to say for tonight. It's been great having you all. Good talking to you guys. Good seeing y'all and everything, getting through this offseason. And we'll be enjoying some Broncos wins before you know it. But Adam, man, I got nothing left to say other than end the show as we always do on a very strong Go Broncos.
Go Broncos. Let's go.
Take care, everyone.
Do what I like. Yeah, I do what I like. Yeah, I do what I like. Sip and go, sip is right. And I go with the flow. Yeah, I go with the flow. Yeah. on the road.